everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Delve Requisite here on Proficiency Bonus. This week's episode is brought to you by Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. You can type !Little Dragon or !CCG into chat at any point tonight and get a link to either of those fine sponsors' websites. If you purchase anything from Little Dragon Corp, like perhaps dice, you can use our code BONUS at checkout for 15% off your order. Thank you, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Let's get right into it. We're back. We're here. We're in the Aelar flashback story. I gotta tell you this right now. If we don't get through a full session of D&D this week, I'm going to flip out. So just everybody get all your shit. Just get it all gathered up, put it in a backpack, put it in one place, keep it together.
As long as the telltale pipes have stopped, we should be good.
Everybody talk to your plumbing, talk to the sky, tell the weather to fucking cool it, everything. Take it easy.
Yeah. Oh man, I knew it would mess everything up, but I did have the urge to just exit the Discord call right now for your comedic purposes.
I'm really glad I didn't do it.
Oh my god, if Brittany and I had just hung up simultaneously, it would have been the greatest comedy in the history of the world.
Goodness gracious. Well, barring that, let's get off to a start here. So, we are. I was going to say into session 3, but this is really like session 2.5 of Aelar's flashback session. You guys are... thanks for the subscription, DM Camacho.
You know what? Thank you.
Soon to be President Camacho in the near future.
Woo!
This week's episode of Tabletop Legends brought to you by Brondo. It's got what plants crave.
Oh, Matt finally did it. We're not Tabletop Legends anymore. We have been for like 6 years.
What?
You just said Tabletop Legends.
Did I?
Delve Requisite. I say that all the time.
This is the alternate universe. Way to go, you loser.
The Delve Requisite is brought to you by Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Tabletop Legends is brought to you by Brondo. It's got what plants crave.
This mistake by the DM brought to you by, whatever. Pedialyte.
Brought to you by Pedialyte.
Lucky Strike cigarettes.
Look, we just like making fun of our DM. He doesn't mess up often, but
no, it's mainly
we like
because
to say, loser.
Because I used to do that, and he used to yell at me for it, so it was karma.
That's fine. What are friends for if not berating each other mercilessly when they make the smallest mistake?
What else, indeed?
Yeah, what else is a sibling's job but to be like a hawk for mistakes?
So
he said that, and my brain was like, "Caca!" and swooped right in.
I don't think you know what hawks are.
You make an accurate hawk noise, Jason. I'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. Go on.
No, it's fine. I changed my mind. I'm gonna get some cherries. Bye.
Okay. This time.
You guys are currently, you are back in Aelar's hometown. Aelar, you are playing yourself. Russell and Curtis are both playing the esteemed Tony brothers, Pepperoni, Pep for short, and Giuseppe Tony. Rowan, Brittany is playing in Raleigh, a tiefling, and you guys are accompanied by one Nathaniel Thorne. You are on a mission to sneak into the estate of the governor of the town in which Aelar has grown up, which is currently in the midst of an outbreak of a hemorrhagic fever that has been laying waste to the population. Some truly draconian austerity measures have been put in place by the governor, which have included internment of citizenry into forced quarantine camps. Aelar and a small contingent of family and and other townsfolk of the non-elven persuasion were forced to flee their town when they received word that the governor was going to essentially give the order to round up all non-elves and force them into the quarantine camps, attempting to stop the spread of the plague from taking more lives, but specifically only elven lives. Upon escaping across the border into Mithlinday, Aelar came across a rather unique halfling by the name of Arnold Zalzaveth, who had some medical textbooks that had a dead ringer for the illness that is going on, which they have learned is known as the Amaranth Fever, an illness that the gnomish and halfling folk have a traditional cure for. That cure being a medicine synthesized using parts of a very specific flower, a particular genus of the Amaranthus variety, one that Aelar recognized from a picture in Arnold's textbook as one that grows in the governor of his town's garden. The cure to the illness being right under their nose the entire time, and instead of figuring that out, the governor has been electing to lock people into quarantine camps. Teaming up with Raxus and Nathaniel Thorne, the group has returned to Aelar's hometown with a plan to break into the estate, steal the flower needed to bring to Arnold so he can synthesize a remedy, and attempt to distribute a cure for the Amaranth Fever outbreak. We last left with Aelar sneaking back into his home, getting his father's skeleton key, linking back up with Thorne and the others, and heading to the estate where they have found that the gates onto the estate are currently guarded. Thorne told Aelar to stand back a second, and he nods to his associates, who we pan over and we see that there was actually a fourth associate the whole time who just hasn't said anything or been shown on screen yet, but is now to be introduced. Jason, have you decided who your member of this outfit is? What is your name and what do you look like?
I don't know what it means. I tried to make something up with an image. It didn't make any sense.
Bunch of
well,
X's.
You know what? It's Jimothy Fight Guy, halfling.
Sure it is.
There we go.
There you go.
Fight Guy.
Look at that, he did it.
Ironically, a pacifist.
He studies the way of the passive fist.
When you pass a fist.
It's when you pass your fist through the other guy's face and you win the fight.
And then I love this guy.
I mean,
See,
damn,
look.
that's like
Look at
that
that.
guy's stomach over there.
Look at that.
Doesn't even seem possible. It's like one clean chunk.
That's a lot of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts.
Kung Pao into the fist, for those viewers at home. We don't know what the hell we're talking about right now.
Amazing movie.
10 people watched
Holds
it.
up.
It was most of
Holds
us.
up.
Yeah, 10 people watched it. Most of that
to
being in this.
I
Discord
saw
call right
it in theaters. If that makes you, if that tells you my age,
That's
it was amazing.
It's amazing that a movie like that, made it in theaters. Nowadays, that'd be on YouTube.
now. Yeah,
God
it
bless
was. It was
America.
called The Annoying Orange.
Yeah.
used the same technology.
Okay.
So, Jimothy Fight Guy joins,
Jimothy Fight Guy.
joins
Jimothy.
Pep, Giuseppe, and in Raleigh.
I'm not gonna
and
remember any
Nathaniel
of these
Thorne.
fucking names.
So Nathaniel begins to stride forward. He looks at the kind of gestures to the group of you to spread out and go wide. But before you start to move, he mutters to the group. He says, "Now remember, my brother were very clear. Non-lethal if possible. We don't need to be killing nobody unless it comes to that. We don't want to be making more trouble for these poor people than they've already got by leaving a trail of corpses behind us when we disappear.
No evidence. Got it, boss.
He kind of like nods, and he moves like right out into the open in the street as you guys like begin to move. And as he walks into the street, you see he immediately like affects this like sort of like staggering like bewildered like stumbling gait, and he heads towards the two guards at the gatehouse, and he says to them, "Please, I am ill. I need your help. Please." Please. What are you guys doing as he, like, moves towards them?
How can we help you?
What?
What are
He's walking. He's saying this to the guards.
Talking to the guards.
Oh, I thought you were talking to us.
No.
Guards, we're going wide.
Oh. Either
Going
way, I still keep it.
Going
You only
wide.
dwarf in 1,000 miles, but
Yeah.
you cover your face to make sure.
Going wide, I would probably, since last week we established that Raleigh can climb really well,
Mhm.
I'm going to wait until there's what I perceive to be a gap, and I'm going to stealthily scale some portion of the wall
Okay.
to give cover to my friends, keeping as low as possible, like out of line of sight as possible. Just letting him be the distraction for now, and then if they see me, then I'll be a bigger problem.
Aelar's probably trying to stick to the shadows and not make any noise.
I would just imagine I would stick around like a group of people, like if it's allowed, I'll just I figured of being like kind of loud people.
It is like the middle of the night here. You're like the street is deserted except for like Thorn, who's like wandered out into the middle of the thoroughfare, and these two guards who are at the gate.
We're just like in the shadows then. Fucking,
Okay.
dipping and ducking.
Okay.
I'm trying to get into where we're supposed to go, which I missed last week, and
Essentially, you guys are trying to get through the gatehouse that these two dudes are standing in front of, and Thorn is has enacted the plot to get them the hell out of the way. Okay, so go ahead, Aelar. You don't need to if you're just kind of sticking back and waiting, like he told you. The other four of you can roll stealth checks.
And we just lost Russell.
Oh no!
You gotta be kidding me!
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Are we just rolling
Just a
straight
straight
Great
D20.
D20.
Yep.
17.
Okay.
I didn't think there was gonna be dice involved.
There's always dice involved.
D&D,
there
there's
isn't.
always a die somewhere.
Not true.
no, I don't.
7.
What are you doing? You.
7?
I love dice. Yeah, I love dice.
I have 7. I have a 17. What was Walter's?
Jimothy Fight
Jimothy
Guys.
Fight Guys.
is
Yeah, straight D20.
Straight D20 for stealth. Hell yeah, Jimothy Fight Guy. 13.
13. And there he goes. Okay, I will roll for Russell while he figures it out. He also gets a 17. Okay, so collectively you guys did fine.
Thanks.
Thorn, where's... Okay, so alright, so now Rowan is now playing, Giuseppe Stromboli. Or Giuseppe Pepperoni. Curtis is now playing in Raleigh. Jason and I are Hive Mind playing Jimothy Fight Guy.
I love this.
We've lost Pepperoni.
The mystery object behind Jason's chair is playing. There you go.
This one. There we go.
Goodness.
Right.
Okay.
We got pepperoni back.
He meant his hand,
His
not
hand.
an actual.
I see.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I love.
Okay.
I love D&D.
Yeah. I love
The internet.
playing over the internet. It's fun.
It's so fun.
Okay, so Thorn like strides out into the street. You guys begin to like spread out around him. The two guards like take a few steps away from the gatehouse, and one of them immediately. One of them like they do like they both go like this, and the one goes, "What are you doing out here? You are infected. You should be in the camp. How did you get out here? What are you doing?" And Thorn like kind of like lurches towards them, and he's like, "Please," and they like take several steps back. And the one goes like, "Don't move, don't get any closer if you're infected. Stay there. You need to be taken out of the town. What? How did you get out?" And Thorn like sort of like collapses like to his hands and knees, which is like the signal to you guys of like, okay, get him.
Get him?
Get him.
Like,
Jimothy Fight Guy drops off. He was like hiding like a spider on over top of them, and just like drops off.
Sure. Okay.
goes ape shit. A feral cat.
and Raleigh would throw a dagger from a distance,
Okay.
aiming for like a leg or something.
Sure.
He said non-lethal, trying to play along.
Alrighty. I'll say Giuseppe Stromboli. Giuseppe Stromboli will say was like going around. Just if I keep saying Giuseppe Stromboli because that's what the meme is. Giuseppe Tony, like kind of went wide around another house. Oh, he's on his phone, and he like. Well, I guess you can tell me now that you're back.
Yeah.
Thorn like played sick victim and kind of like lured the guys away from the gatehouse a little bit, getting ready to like arrest him. And like bring him to the camp, and while you guys like snuck around, and then he fell down, which is like the signal for you guys to like mob these guys. So Jimothy Fight Guy like dropped down from something above them, and Raleigh has thrown a dagger, and then we're just seeing what the Tony brothers are doing.
You're muted.
You're muted.
And now he's gone again.
Oh my god.
We're back.
Okay.
We're back.
Hey!
All right.
All right, so
Now you're muted again.
Yeah,
I
we're
feel
back.
like I'm choking people out. I want to be like. I feel like
he's face huggered somebody.
I feel like I have like a cape, like a slight cape hood situation, and so it's like I come up around like when they're like get him, and I'm like, whew, and just like
Okay.
Smothering them?
Yeah, smothering.
Yeah,
them.
I'm
Gotta
doing
be,
something similar, except
With your beard.
I have a rolling pin, and it's like on a
Okay.
dude.
Alright, so
we're trying to be quiet, so
make
it's like
everybody make attack rolls, straight D20s.
you make an attack roll.
We'll say the mark is only going to be 10.
Good, because I got an 11.
I'm gonna roll the
16. Oh shit, we got 2 16s.
Yup.
Where's my hold on. I'm gonna use the cheese dice for just a second.
Ease.
Dice. It's all
the
20s.
cheese, the cheese stands alone. Cheese stands alone.
Nope.
I'm gonna use it later because it's not in this bag, so I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna use it later.
Great.
No, it's in my other bag. Natural 20.
All the hype.
So I got 16, 16, 20, and 11.
And Aelar was just chilling.
Break out my
Oh, yeah,
handy
no,
dandy
he-
giant D20.
Aelar was told to stay still.
Yeah, Aelar
Yep,
was instructed like, you're a literal child. Don't don't get in this fight with us. So okay, so as Thorn like drops down like to his hands and knees, that gives the signal. Jimothy Fight Guy like drops down from above, and Raleigh from her position like a dagger comes like whistling through the air and like pins one of the guy's like foot into the ground, And he goes to like let out like a howl of pain, except his face is quickly like muffled by a rolling pin goes into his mouth, so he's like, "Arr!" The other guy like has just enough time to look as like he like turns and like Jimothy Fight Guy drops down into the street and like punches him in the gut, and he like doubles over, getting him down height. That then Pepperoni Tony like now he's bent over, so he's dwarf height for Pepperoni Tony to come and like a hockey player except with his own cape, he like pulls it over the guy's head and just like and very quickly the two guards are like sleeper hold, choked out, and they just like go unconscious like and you guys like set them down in the ground. Thorn just sort of like gets up, dusts himself off, and turns and like Aelar gives you the signal like, all right, come on.
Aelar, dear, grab my dagger.
That's what we call turning a man into a gabagool.
Smooth operator.
You know, he's just, his eyes are just going between the two guys that are down, and you know he has to pull like 2 or 3 times to get the dagger out. And they quickly wipes it off and hands it off to her.
Very good.
Thorn like gestures. He's like, quickly now then, lad, the key.
Yeah, this one. Turns the key in the lock. And is this the squeaky one? No, it's not the squeaky one. The other one's the squeaky one. Opens the gate.
You open the gate. Thorn gives you guys like a quick second to like tie those two guys up. It's like try to tie them up, drag them. We see like the 2 pairs of boots like like slide into the gate, and then the gate is like closed behind where they were standing, and like tied up and unconscious. You guys just like toss those 2 guards into like a bush, and you guys are inside the estate. So you find yourself on the dark estate grounds. The house is kind of like looming in the distance a little away from you, and Thorn turns in your direction, Aelar, and he's like, all right then, lad, you're on point. Lead the way. Let's get us an antidote and get out of here.
Don't get us killed.
No, for sure. This way.
Alrighty. Stealth checks all around. D20s, please.
I'm gonna use the cheese D20, or as I like to call it, the Brie 20.
The big 1-7.
It's an 8.
Big 1-7.
18.
16.
19.
Okay.
13.
Ooh, that looks like a group pass to
Group
me.
pass. Thorn's the only one who didn't
Just
roll
looks
very
like
well.
yellow, but it is cheese dice.
I like
Yeah.
it.
It's
I
a
like
cheese of this.
Okay. So yes, collectively, you guys do all right. You make your way through the grounds up towards the main house, specifically headed towards the like gardens and glass houses that Aelar, you passed through before. The grounds themselves seem quiet. You do see that there do appear to be lights, like lamps are still lit within a number of portions of the estate itself. So at least somebody is up and about in there. But you don't run into any like patrolling guards now that you're inside the estate's grounds. So it's a pretty smooth passage up to the gardens. So now you find yourself surrounded by well-manicured rows of ornamental shrubberies and flowering plants and other things of that nature in the gardens of this estate.
That one. That's where it is.
Make an investigation check. Any of you can actually do this if you'd like, because you all know what you're looking for.
14.
17.
17?
16.
I'm going to have Thorn roll a perception check and keep
Well-
a look at. Oh, Thorn rolls a 4, so hopefully there's nothing to see looking at. So I heard 12, I heard
17.
17.
14.
16 and 14.
14, okay.
Jimothy's gonna be also on
Look
defense.
out? Okay.
on lookout. He's an antsy lad.
Okay.
So.
Aelar. Probably the first and foremost thing, and specifically, like, this is most apparent to you immediately. You go to where you saw the plant that you are looking for. From the diagram that you saw, you remember exactly what the amaranthus flower that you were looking for is. You remember seeing it in large planters in this portion of the garden, so you kind of know where you are going back to. And your check there is good enough that you are, without a shadow of a doubt, certain that you have like located the correct planters. However, they are empty. There is no amaranthus growing in them.
They're right there. I swear to every god there was. They were right there. Does it look like the planters have recently been pulled?
So that is what the Tony brothers and in Raleigh, you guys kind of notice when you see Aelar starts to like freak out a little bit, that like they're gone. Like they were here, but they're gone. You kind of like start to look around. Aelar, you do see like the soil in those pots looks to be like freshly disturbed. The others of you, as you kind of look around, you see some evidence on the like on the ground, sort of in the vicinity of these planters, of some like freshly upturned, disturbed dirt has like spilled out onto the ground. And you see like a few like small pieces of like fairly wilted, but still like with a little bit of life to them, like pieces of like plant debris, as if like the plants from these planters were fairly recently, like probably today, like harvested out of these planters and taken somewhere.
Which direction is the dirt leading? Like into the house or
towards the house, it seems. So Raxus like kind of comes over as he's like keeping looking. He's like, I don't want to tell you how to do your jobs, but it's been a wee bit of time we've been standing here. You got what we need or not, boys?
They're not here. They've been pulled.
Oh shit!
I just point to the house, and I point at the dirt line.
They might have gotten a healer from outside of town who might know what that fever is finally.
He like kind of curls his lip. He's like, figures. Well, I for one, even if they have figured out what these plants are for, I for one don't trust them to use it on anybody but themselves. I quite vote that they get liberated of it, regardless of what they done with it.
I say aye.
Aelar just holds up the other skeleton key he has.
I'm not going home empty-handed. I don't know about the rest of you.
Nope.
Well, it goes without saying, you take anything else that looks valuable while we're in there, as long as they don't interfere with getting them plants.
Well, that goes without saying.
This is fine then. Let's get a move on, but we better be quick about it. It's a big ass house, and I don't know where to start looking.
I don't know either. I don't think they do the work
kitchen?
in the kitchen. I don't think they do the work there.
We could just look for
Do
the
we
dirt.
know who did it? So
This is first things first. Let's get out of the open here. Let's get inside. You've been in before.
I wouldn't mind checking out that kitchen anyway.
That's the only that and the larder was the only place I've been inside. Follow me.
Alrighty. how are you trying to get in? Are you going back in through the kitchens the way you did before?
Yeah, I figure that he'd probably try and return to familiar ground.
Okay. Everybody make another stealth check.
16.
11.
14.
Also 11.
Also 11.
Thorn is really whiffing it tonight. Thorn rolled 1.
Jimothy's actually like humming that theme out loud, just quietly to himself.
All right. So you guys make it to the the kitchens. Aelar, you like use the skeleton key to unlock the door, and you guys like begin to slip inside. Aelar, as it is just you and Thorn like left outside, he sort of like grabs the door and like pushes you ahead to like go in, and then he's like bringing up the rear. And he like turns and looks as he's like slipping in the last one in the door, and he like you see him sort of like from the back, you see him sort of like kind of flinch a little, and he like quickly but quietly like pulls the door shut, and he turns around and he has a look on his face like and he says, "Night watchman with a lantern." He's like listening, and he's like, "I would have sworn they saw me, but I don't hear anything yet, but we better move. We shan't stay here for long." He like turns to the group of you and he goes, "All right, lads, I'm open to suggestions. Where do we think we can find this?"
Is there any dirt on the ground here?
Make a investigation check. I should point out, you guys are like in the kitchens now. The kitchens are dark and unoccupied. The kitchens are closed for the evening here.
Yeah. 18 investigation to look for dirt or plant debris.
Also 18.
Okay. You do not find anything. You see that there is very clearly like the interior of the house here has been like swept up for the night before like the staff went to bed.
I rolled a 19 investigation for looking for things worth to steal in here.
Sure. You immediately find several sets of like extremely high quality like chef's tools, like carving knives and butcher's knives and paring knives, a gilded ladle, a masterwork rolling pin. Why not?
I'm gonna take the masterwork rolling pin and the gilded ladle.
Okay.
Are we assuming that they know that this is secure, or are we assuming that they are like Jimothy's addressing Rex?
Oh, I see. This is in character.
Sorry, I don't do voices. I apologize. Jimothy's like, so are we operating on the assumption that they know what this is, or are we operating on the assumption that like they just didn't want anybody to have their nice flowers?
Is the amaranthin plant like pretty?
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a pretty flower. But decidedly, like you saw that like the plants. It's not like the flowers were cut. Like the plant's root and all were like removed from the planters. So Thorn is basically like, I don't want to assume nothing that might send us off on the wrong track, but it seems an awfully odd coincidence that the particular plant what happens to be growing in their garden that can cure the disease that's been killing half the town all of a sudden finds itself harvested.
Second floor is always most defensible. We should check there first.
Yeah, if I remember right, Dad had to work on the guy's study door, second floor, west.
He says, "Here's what I think. We got a lot of house to cover. We don't know where any of this is. I think we ought to split up." He points to Pep and Giuseppe. He goes, "Tony brothers, you take the east wing of the first floor. In Raleigh and Jimothy," he goes, second-story work be your specialty? Take the second floor. Lad, you'll be with me. We'll take the west wing.
I feel like me and Giuseppe go, hip hip. It just disappear.
Does this have a servant's elevator? Like where they can like pull food
make
up
an
to the next
investigation
floor?
check.
Because Jimothy is a halfling,
And he can fit
Jimothy's gonna use the secret door. Let's see.
What are those called? It's not a lazy
Dumbwaiter.
It's a dumbwaiter.
It's a dumbwaiter, yeah. So
yes.
Jimothy rolled a 7, looking for a dumbwaiter.
If there is one,
you don't find one.
Yeah, well.
And Raleigh sees one, but mad that she doesn't can't fit in it. She doesn't say anything. She's a spiteful bitch.
Jimothy looks through 2 cabinets and like gives up, and then like Raleigh's like.
She opens the 3rd cabinet and is like. Nope.
So he says, right, split up. No more than an hour, whether you found it or not. Get back out of the house. Reconvene at the rendezvous point outside of town.
No evidence?
Says, not if we can help it. He like nods to you guys and he's like, right, go. And he sends the 3 of you.
I flip Aelar an extra dagger. I'm nervous about him running around without anything.
He bobbles it a couple of times, but manages to finally catch it.
I'm very nervous about this kid running around without anything.
Thorn gives you a look of like,
just in case he's...
hand it to him next time.
He's fine.
He's like, he nearly dropped it, and we're trying to be quiet.
You have little faith, Nathaniel. And I scamper off.
I was gonna describe Jimothy as also scampering off. So, I imagine these 2 little like
sure.
Just like monkey stomping it right down the thing.
Yeah, and then the Tony brothers, Pep goes hip hip, and Giuseppe like throws 2 handfuls of flour like a smoke bomb, like clouding the area. But then you just see them like on their hands and knees, like like crawling out of the kitchen and like out a door. So everybody you guys disperse. I don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time on characters not in Aelar's perspective.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
I guess
whoever finds whatever, like
give me if both of the other pairs can give me a like sort of a what like. I'll tell you this: like neither of your pairs of characters are the ones that come across the flowers, which means you pretty much have free reign to like get up to whatever shenanigans you want these characters to have gotten up to. So, do you want me to start like on your guys' perspective, and you can tell me like what you get up to, or do you want me to go with Aelar a minute and give you guys a second to like think about it?
I say I have something.
Okay, go ahead.
Because
I will go with what Jason wants.
All right, so we're gonna like check
famous last words.
So Aelar's checking the study, right? Like where he knows the study is.
2nd floor.
We're going to the 2nd floor. We're the study.
So we're checking for the study. Okay, so we get to the study, and Jimothy's like looking for flowers. Very obvious. There's no dirt or flowers in this area. Jimothy will steal every family painting that he can find
and carry by himself.
Yeah, like especially the smaller ones. Like he's just gonna start throwing.
Are you like frames and all, or are you like cutting the canvas out of frames?
He is cutting the canvas out of frames. And yeah,
okay.
He is stealing just like I don't care about the frames. I'm taking every single portrait. Like
okay.
In Raleigh, realizing there's no flowers up here, and just kind of like rolling with it, will then take every private diary she can find.
Okay.
And
so we have like a Scooby-Doo-esque like shot of a hallway, and these two like twinkle toes keep going from like door to door across the hallway, like stealing pictures. You guys go into like a bedroom where there's like clearly like some sort of members of the household are like asleep in their beds, and in Raleigh lifts up like a 16-year-old girl's pillow and like takes her diary out from under her pillow while she's like still asleep, sneaks out of the room.
Blackmail is collateral. It's fine.
we meet back up and it's like, did leave a tooth?
What do the Tony brothers get up to in their escapades on the first floor?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Well, what's on the first floor?
Whatever you want. Besides the stipulation of like you don't find flowers, you can have like literally whatever. You can run into guards. You can run into members of the household. You cannot run into like whatever you just. The world is your oyster. Whatever you want them to get up to on the first floor.
What can I make out of this? I'm gonna look at some of their stonework, some of their stone statues here. Some of maybe the smaller knick-knack ones.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start like looking around for maybe some of these like plants, like sniffing around, kind of like just kind of like looking around and being like, ooh, I see some like stonework stuff, and I start like just putting it in my pockets.
Okay.
And I'd look over at this W and be like, you see anything? You noticing anything?
They have a lot of like small 12-inch marble statuettes of like different iconic elven figures, and you just break all of the arms and heads off of all the statues, thus
Absolutely.
inadvertently creating an extremely famous art style that will sweep through the Ignean Empire for generations to come.
Woo!
I go up to one room where there's a big fancy desk, and I turn to Pep and I go, This is Arkwood? You think this is Arkwood? Huh? This is a nice desk.
He starts like laughing out loud and like starts like gives like a little laugh. And I'd be like, I like that joke. Could be a real joke one day. Let's just keep that one.
We cut to the two of you trying to like steal the desk, except you like you can't angle it and get it out of the room that it's
Lift
in.
Lift it!
Pivot!
Pivot!
Oh, what you're doing? You gotta do it twisted. You gotta do it twisted. Just put it down. Put it down. Okay, we're going about this all wrong. If we take the legs off, it'll be we're making this harder than it has to be.
That's exactly what we're doing. Being like, I really like this desk, even though it's not Zircon. Being like, yes, tilt it, lift it.
Okay, so that's all that's going on. This Home Alone style comedy of burglary is happening in the other parts of the house. Aelar, you and Thorn move through the west wing of the estate house. You make a couple of sort of like quick cursory glances into like side chambers. You pass like a sitting room. There's like a solarium with like lounge chairs and things like that you see. You give like a little bit of a consideration to because there are some like indoor plants in there, but they're clearly not the ones you're looking for. You come through like it's like an auxiliary dining room. It seems is empty, cleared out. After roughly half of your like allotted time that Thorn gave you guys to look, you searched probably 3/4 of this portion of the house. You kind of gauge from the look outside, like there's only a few more areas that you think you need to go check into. Make a perception check.
17.
You hear the like front door of the estate. Like you kind of realize like you're in a hallway that is like across the main hall, like sort of the main foyer, the entryway. You hear what you are pretty sure is like the front door of the estate like open and then close. you can gauge that, like, from where you are, there's, like, sort of the foyer here, and then, like, on the far side of the foyer is, like, an opening into, like, the ballroom, which you guys have not been in yet, and then, like, you heard this door open and close. You, like, point to Thorn. He's like, he, like, slinks up, cracks the door to this hall, and, like, pulls his head back in, and he, like, turns back to you and goes, like, and then, like, opens the door a little more and, like, gestures for you to come with him, and, like, slip into the foyer. You see that there's nobody here. He like looks to you. He says, "Weren't that long ago? Somebody must have stepped outside." He like nods. He goes, "Let's get a gander in there and then see who our midnight stroller is." And he moves over towards the door to, like, the ballroom, and he, like, gets there, and you see he, like, jiggles the handle, and it's clearly locked. He, like, turns and he looks, he goes, "I don't suppose one of your keys would open this."
I try a key.
No, it does not appear that your skeleton key will open this door.
This must not be one that he worked on.
Thorn, like, sort of looks around, and he goes, "Give me one of them daggers and Rolly gave you."
When he hands over the dagger,
and he, like, takes it and he, like, kind of puts the blade of it, like, into the crack in the door, and he's like, and he, like, palms the back of the dagger, and you hear it go, like, which is not a particularly loud sound, but in, like, the dead silence of this house, it's like just a shock, like, runs up your spine at, like, how loud it seems. He quickly, like, pulls the dagger out and, like, hands it back to you.
Thank you.
And he, like, opens the door, puts his head in, and you see him sort of, like, do this inside the door, and he goes like this, he goes like this, and he, like, leans back out, and he's like, and slips into the door.
Alright, I'm right behind him and closing the door behind us.
You close the door behind you. You see that, like, the latch that was on the interior of the door that had been like keeping it locked is now decidedly broken. He essentially, like, with the dagger, basically just, like, banged it out of like it's whatever the appropriate locking term for this thing is. That's just been, like, you see that in the ballroom here, the room has been repurposed. There are a number of tables that have been set up in here, and on those tables you see a wide array of like strange items that you don't really understand the use of or the function of. There are a lot of, like, odd glass, like, cylinders and whirling curved tubes that lead into other tubes. You see, like, these glass spheres suspended over these, like, small little metallic stands that are either, like, arcanely powered or have some sort of a fuel source and are, like, emitting a small flame, which is, like, heating the liquid. There are, like, a bunch of different, like, scales and measures and little scoops and a bunch of like reagents of different weird colors. You see on one of the tables there's a bunch of like loose dirt and like discarded plant pieces, including you see like some of the flowers that you recognize from those amaranthus plants. On the other side of the room, you see several crates. There's like 3 small crates that contain, they're like packed with hay, and they one of them you see is open, and you can see the tops of like several rows of stoppered glass vials.
They did figure out how to cure it.
Thorn is kind of looking at all of it. He says, "Aye, that would be what it appears to be." Kind of like, sort of looks at you. He's like, "I suppose that saves us a step."
Yeah, we can give it right to the people in the camps.
He's like, "Right, we should at least keep some of it back." And he like goes over and takes like a satchel, and he like scoops a bunch of the like detritus of the plants. He's like, "I can't say what Arnold might want or need, so we might as well take all of it." He says, "And at least a few of those vials we should save back in case the chemist can make more of this stuff. But aye, we ought to grab it and get out of Dodge."
Aelar starts, making sure the one open one is well packed before placing the lid on it. He stops for a second, does a mental count of how many members of the governor's family there are. He sets a couple of the vials on the table.
Okay. All right, so you pick that stuff up. You guys begin to go. The crates are not huge, so like the 3 of them stacked together is basically like you are easily able to hold it, like kind of chest height like this. So like kind of Thorn gives them all to you, and then like takes point ahead of you guys as you get ready to go. As the 3rd crate is like stacked onto your pile here, and you kind of grab them and you guys start to move. You get about halfway across the room, and the door to the ballroom like bangs open, and the governor, as well as 4 armed guards, walk into the room. 2 and 2 like flanking him on either side. Thorn immediately like steps in front of you, and like he kind of like adopts this very casual air where he sort of like flings back his coat and puts his hands on his hips and sort of leans back, but you see that like his hand rests on like the pommel of his sword, and as this group enters, he very like easily goes, "Aye, well, good evening. I take it you're the governor then. Pleasure to be making your acquaintance." And the governor is immediately like, "Who are you to be talking to me in such a casual manner? You break into my house in the middle of the night, you're stealing the medicine. You shut up and you answer my questions." The guards like have their swords out, and they kind of like start to circle around, and Thorn for his part just kind of like stands casually, and he goes, "Oh, I'd be more than happy to." And the governor says, "I knew it. I knew that if we waited long enough, some of you people would get in here and try to make off with this." He like points to one of the guys. He said it, did I not? I was right, and here they are. He kind of looks at Thorn. He says, "I do not recognize you." And he like leans back and says, "Your face is familiar. No doubt you are here to try and steal this medicine. Give it to the people." And
you should have done.
Yeah, Thorn is like, "The lad's got a point. If you had the cure. What's with the camps there, Governor?" And the governor says, We did not know about the cure until recently, but even still, what was I to do? We do not have enough for everyone. And Thorn is like, oh, and who do you have enough for then? And he says, it is purely a matter of math. He gestures towards you and Thorn. He says, you're kind. What? For every one of you that dies, 50 years, 60 you live? But every elfin life, hundreds of years. He says, there is only enough, and I must preserve the most amount of life possible. Every member of the elfin race that I can save might live countless more years. The halflings, the gnomes, they repopulate like rabbits, huh? And Thorn, like, puts his hands to his lips and he goes, right. Aelar?
Yes?
You mind putting those down for a second?
Aelar carefully sets them down.
Says,
stands back up.
You got what Enrolli gave you?
Yeah.
Don't use it unless you have to. And then he immediately pulls two swords out of his sides and rushes at the governor and these three guys. What ensues is not a particularly long fight. These four guards come at him, and he pretty quickly dispatches them. Can you make a perception check with disadvantage as he is doing that?
Lower of the two is a 10.
Okay. With a 10, that is enough that as you are armed with this dagger ready to defend yourself if need be, which pretty quickly becomes apparent that it's not going to be necessary from any of the guards, but you do notice at the last second the governor in the fray has looped around the fight, or around some of the the chemistry sets on the tables, and you turn just in time to see him lunge at you with a dagger of his own that he has procured, trying to stab you. He rolls a 2 and misses, and now he is face to face with you.
Aelar is going to take a quick swipe and probably let out one of the new curses in Dwarven he just learned.
Yeah!
He's actually just yelling pepperoni for some reason.
Pepperoni!
And he is going to roll a 1.
Oh,
because that dice that I cannot say the word on came up.
You lunge at him. It is a clumsy and untrained thing. It becomes very apparent pretty quickly that he also doesn't know how to fight. So even in your clumsiness, you still catch him with the dagger, and you feel it bite into his ribs. But then it gets caught up in the sort of the folds of his cloaks and doublets and stuff like that, and you kind of your grip isn't right, so where it gets caught, your hand slides on the dagger and you cut yourself pretty badly, in your primary hand. Okay. But you do manage to hold on to your dagger, and you come up away from each other. You see, as you sort of pull back and still clutch this dagger, you guys start to square off. One of the four guards goes flying past the two of you and crashes through one of the chemistry tables as Thorn kicks him across the room, and turns and is still fighting with these other guys. The governor is going to take another swing at you.
Okay.
He gets a 6. So he sort of just like doing this, like, and you're kind of like, neither of you really wants to get into like stabbing distance of the other, so there's a lot of like knife flailing towards each other. But he says, if you think you are going to take this medicine and give it to a bunch of worthless peasants, you have another thing coming.
No, I think we will. This time, oh wait, hands hurt. Should be disadvantage.
Nah, you're all right.
Okay. 17.
Okay, so with a 17, he's doing this. You're kind of doing this, and in the fray, like, your dagger like gets him across the inside of his wrist as you guys like cross each other, and you clearly like cut something important in his arm, and his hand just like releases, and the dagger like flops out of it as his hand, like, all the fingers sort of like go like floppy, and then like his hand sort of like curls up, and he like backs away from you, clutching it to his chest.
Aelar's doing the back.
So you you menace him with the dagger. At the same time, you hear the decided like of a guy getting the shit stabbed out of him, and like over your shoulder you see like the fourth and final guard get like dropped to the floor. Thorn comes over. He's got like a little cut over one of his eyes that's like bleeding down his face, and he's like, fat balls, can't see. But he comes over. He's like limping a little bit. You're like menacing the governor with with this poignard that you have, and he walks up and he like puts a hand like on your dagger hand and sort of like pushes it down, and he says to you, "I made a promise to your mother, lad, that I'd take care of you. That protection extends further than just physical harm. You're young yet. This is a mark you don't need on your soul." And the governor...
Dagger's probably shaking a little bit, and he puts it away.
The governor says, "Yes." He sees like his guards are dead. He like changes his tune immediately. He's like, "Yes, thank you for your mercy. I will share the medicine. I see that it was wrong to try to..." And he like, Thorn like puts up a finger, and when the governor stops talking, he says, "The boy's young. He's already had too much of his childhood stolen because of your decisions. I'll not have him lose what's left of it, taking your miserable life. You're not worth it. He's too young." And the governor is like, "Yes, of course And Thorn, like, one more time, like, shushes him. And he goes, "He's too young. But I'm not." And he, like, takes one step forward, like, runs him clean through with his sword, and then with the dagger that, like, you just realized he took from your hand, Aelar, slashes his throat. And then kicks him off the end of the blade, and turns back around to you, and, like, you see when he turns around, this sort of, like, cavalier, but rough around the edges, but, like, generally, like, you know, almost like protective guy that you've been traveling with. You turn around and you see like the demon in his eyes, as he like spins around and like surveys the room, and he like puts the dagger and the sword away, and he nods to you and he goes, "Get the crates. We need to go."
Aelar quickly wraps up his hand and grabs the crates and probably spares a glance back at the 5 dead men. But is following Thorn as quickly as he can.
As you guys make your exit, you get back into the foyer. He has you like kind of move out ahead of him. You begin to head across. You open the door to go into that hallway to like head back towards the kitchens. As you do, the commotion seems to have like woken other parts of the house. The 4 others of you, like wherever you guys are at, you the Tony brothers, like you hear like the house begin to wake up, and you guys just like drop a desk. You're like, fuck it, we have to leave it, let's go. You guys hear like a commotion begins to stir, and like the house begins to wake up, and people start getting out of bed and things like that. And like you're not sure what all has happened, but you know like time to cheese it. As Aelar, as you guys like cross the threshold and are like getting to the door on the other side of the foyer, the front door like bangs open, and sort of in like slow motion, you're like opening the door, and Thorn like looks to you, he looks to the door, and he like reaches out and like kind of shoves you from behind, which gives you like a little bit of a boost of speed that puts you through the door and out of the foyer right as like a bunch of people come in. And so it just sort of ends up like a bunch of guards come into the room, and Thorn is just like apparently alone in the foyer, like stands there for like the split second that like they kind of clock him, but don't see you as you've been like pushed out. And then he takes that dagger that he like slit the governor's throat with, and just like throws it into a crowd of guys and bolts through the door. Like comes in 3 steps behind you as you're like running down the hallway. You like look over your shoulder. You see him pull like a china cabinet down in front of the door behind you guys, and then you're just running. You run like through the hallways. You like get back into the kitchen. You bust into the kitchen just as the Tony brothers like come like what is it? What's Tom Cruise? Risky Business. They come like sliding into the kitchen through another door. You guys like sync up, run out. As you guys come out, like in Raleigh and Jimothy like drop from 2nd story windows and like tuck and roll in the lawn, and then like just as quickly as you were like getting out, like 1 and then 2 of the boxes of medicine are like taken by 2 of the others, so that you just have like 1, and then you guys are just like running. What follows is a little bit of a blur, even all of these years later. Like you remember like heading back to the gate. You remember one of the guards that you guys like knocked out like got himself loose and was like up and like went to bar your path. You remember Thorn like shouting something to one of the others, and in Raleigh basically like jumping up, like putting 2 daggers into this guy's like clavicles and like riding him into the ground, and not even like breaking stride as you guys just like burst out of the gate. You remember like running through the streets of your town for what couldn't have been more than like a minute or 2, but like in your mind and your recollection of it felt like hours of like running and hiding and stopping and like ducking and moving. And eventually you kind of remember like the 4 of you, like just your heavy footfalls like pell-mell over the empty ground like outside of town, the lights of the town like shrinking in the distance as you made your escape. You met back up with Arnold at the designated rendezvous point. One of the plants that Thorn had taken was like able to be nursed back to health, which allowed Arnold over the next couple of months back in Mithlinde to propagate a number of these plants and grow more of them. The immediate supply of medicine that you did have, you were not part of it, but you know that like Raxus arranged and like got it back to the people in the camps in your village, and within a couple of months, Arnold was able to like produce enough of the medicine, and produce enough like propagules of this plant to distribute to some other like halfling and gnomish herbalists in the area, that like the production rate of this medicine began to tick up, and within the year the outbreak was like quelled and eventually subsided. The rest, I suppose, is history. You stayed alongside Raxus for quite a while after that, as we kind of established. He's the one who essentially got fake documents made, granting you guys citizenship in Mithlinde. Nathaniel, as for his part, when you guys returned and kind of like told the tale, Raxus like already was like, and held up a wanted poster with Nathaniel's face on it from the Empire that like reached them even before you guys got back. In like kicking you through that door, he was seen and essentially pinned for the murder of the governor, which he 100% did do. So whatever. And the two of them essentially, that kind of meant the end of his ability to continue the operation the way that Raxus runs it. His cover as like a smuggler was blown. And you remember the last time you ever saw Nathaniel Thorn was when he was like getting ready to depart, and you remember him saying to his brother that he wasn't upset that it turned out the way that it did. He didn't regret doing what he did, as that governor had it coming, as he put it. And he basically said, and perhaps this is stuck with Aelar, perhaps it isn't, but he said, Roxas, we've been doing things your way for a long time, and I understand the value in it. Helping people behind the scenes, getting them out of a bad situation in the Empire. But as long as we've been doing this, frankly, I don't feel like we're making a difference. Sure, to the individuals we help, but... Well, brother, I think it seems like it's high time when someone does something a little more direct to interfere with the slave trade. I think it's time I be leaving. I haven't been back home in a number of years, and... well, I miss the salt air. Perhaps I'll see about getting myself a boat. And he left. And it wouldn't be until years and years later that you heard from another group that Nathaniel had been killed after a long and fruitful career as a pirate and a murderer. But as for yourself, that was the beginning of a long career of learning a lot of very particular skills. And that is sort of what what would eventually bring you to the very first time we met Aelar, when he met Tori and Idrian way back in the beginning of our campaign here. As for Arnold, after the initial sort of like making of the medicine, I'm sure quite a bit of him teaching you odd bits of medicine and language and chemistry and history, things of that nature. He eventually like packed up his wagon and told you that it was time for him to continue on his journeys, and you had not seen him for many years after that, until right now, where we return to the present, where you guys are in the 5th subfloor of the High Octuritas, and he is at the center of a massive empty chamber in chains, and we zoom back right after Aelar just went, Arnold?
Who?
What are you doing here? What did they do to you?
He says, well, I'm afraid they rather don't like me, and they're quite determined that I stay here.
Aelar's going to be looking at the chains, look for any other signs of like a trap or anything like that.
Sure, make an Arcana check.
21.
21. Of the 21, you can see that there is like a very strong. You kind of like understand a little bit about some of the runes here. Like there is like massive anti-magic properties, like runed into these chains.
Locks on the manacles, I presume?
Yep.
All right, hold on. I'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
I, pulls out a few lockpicks. Why did they do this to you?
He, as you like start to pick, he puts a hand on your tools to stop you, and he says, "Before you do that, do they know you're here?"
Yeah, they do.
And they're coming.
Walter looks around and says, "Maybe not here, but here."
Your like Ignean turncoat, whatever, assistant trader, whatever you want to call him. Let me switch back to my appropriate notes for the.
Oh, that's right, because the elevator can show where it's at.
Most likely.
The elevator has been. Where the hell is this document?
Oh no, he's going up and down the elevator, right? Like he just dropped us off and he's going up and down.
No, so what he did, if I can find the damn.
He was like stopping it.
I have a terrible habit of not naming the like Google Docs that I make for certain sessions, and then I just have like 50 that are called untitled document that I'm like, shit, is this the one?
Search by date.
Yeah, it would have been.
It doesn't help when I like open and close things periodically.
Oh,
then
that would throw it off.
What are you looking for? What he's doing to the elevator, or his name?
I do need the like I'm looking for the specific. Like I have a Google Doc that has like the layout of this whole place, which I need.
We're on the subfloor basement. We had to steal a key for. It was like the secret hidden basement that below floor 5 or something like that, like the 5th basement.
All right, I got it. Rename it. I'll rename this right away. Oh, it already was named that. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so, right, so you are in the 5th sub-basement. Your Ignean, like, accomplice here, Claude Audrey. Essentially, like, you guys stole a card key from High Council Leyroth's office, and Cloud is currently using that to, like, lock down the elevator, which is not going to stop anybody, like, looking for you in the building from, like, using the stairs, but it does mean that they have to, like, find you in this building, and, you know, can only come so fast as people can go down the stairs. So, like, you got some time. So he says, they'll be coming then. Right. A few other questions, and this is going to sound strange.
You can ask as I work, and Aelar's gonna keep working at the lock.
He goes, right. I guess you'll see if it comes to that. And make a sleight of hand check.
23.
You pick the lock, the manacles fall away. As you pick the ones on his wrist, you see, like, the rune is, like, broken, and, like, the anti-magic, like, shuts down on them, and he goes, "Whew, thank you," and he reaches down, and with one hand, he just, like, crushes the one on his feet, and, like, tosses it away like tinfoil.
What?
And he goes,
Mr.
He says, it might get weird, but there's probably not time for that. If there's anything else you want to do with this building, you should do it. And if things get crazy, I've got an ace or two up my sleeve.
This way.
Rowan's like jumping up and down.
So you start to run. He says, yes, but I need to know. You said that Kellen Forzair is gone. He's
dead.
He's dead. And
well, he was absorbed by a slime that stole his face.
He's like, what? He says, what did Adrian say about it?
Broken thread of fate.
We're off book.
We got oh god, what is Fidget? He was a goblin?
He was a Fidget.
Or was he?
Fidget was a goblin, yes.
Yeah. A goblin named Fidget came. A diviner wizard.
So he just says, we don't have time for the whole story now, but Tori and Adrian has not told you that we've run out of viable...
He said we're still on the path. On a path.
Good enough for now. And he says, and the Brotherhood of Artanis. He says, have they found... And he's like, God, I hate his games. Have they found something?
The dragon?
Fuck! That's a yes then, I suppose. All right, okay, let's go.
Oh god, you're a diviner too, aren't you?
No, but...
Oh, crap.
Okay, you said it was just above?
Subfloor 4 is the Vault Arcana. That's where your thing is. Subfloor 3 is the Tome
like
Repository.
Down. She never uses this spell, so she's really uncomfortable having to focus.
Subfloor 2 is the Ark of Heritage. Subfloor 1 is Records.
Alright. 4th floor. Let's get the thing.
Alrighty, Subfloor 2, the Vault Arcana. You come back to Cloud. He's like looking at Arnold a little leery, and he's like, are you sure that you know what you're doing? They seem to be pretty concerned about this guy.
That man is the reason that the Amaranth fever outbreak on the border regions 10 years ago ended.
They're concerned about all of us.
Make a persuasion check.
19.
Okay. He goes, in for a copper, in for a pound, I suppose. I don't know why I doubt you now. I've helped you this far. Okay, come on.
Thank you, Claude.
Everybody like piles back into the elevator. I was gonna ask, like, he looks to you of like, where do you want to go? But I imagine Rowan is like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, okay, he hits the thing, and you guys ascend. The doors open on the fourth sub floor, and you see a space about the same size as the chamber below, like very very large, high ceiling. This one, however, seems to be like the end of Indiana Jones, where they like wheel the crate into the like labyrinth of, it's like that. There's just like shelves upon shelves of like stuff. There is like as you like move into the space, you can clearly see there seems to be like a labeling system that kind of helps direct you towards what certain stuff has been archived where. That's not really necessary, at least in terms of what you're looking for, because Rowan can just pinpoint it.
Brom, Oz, Walter.
Grab cool stuff.
Yeah. Start. Brom, give somebody Plan B. Use Plan A on something. We're grabbing what we can.
I just start grabbing shit.
Rowan's following the spell and running.
So you see a glimmer in the voids that are Walter's eyes.
Grab me something cool.
Here's how I'm ready for this. So here's how we're gonna handle that. Narratively, we can just say like, I think the way that your spell works, it kind of tells you like direction and general distance. So you kind of use it like a compass, where like when you run past the row that it's in, you feel the needle of your magic swing past you. So you're like, whoa! So you hone in on it that way. You eventually get yourself to a
and I know what it looks like, so as soon as I'm...
you come to like a shelf where it is like sitting on the shelf, and it is just a briefcase-sized thing. You have seen it before, Rowan. You know exactly what it is.
There's a bit of anxiety looking at it again for the first time, and I grab it and pull it off the shelf.
You pull it off the shelf as you like turn to begin going. Arnold goes like, wait, and he goes like one cubby down and grabs another case, and he comes over and he like opens it up, and you see that it is full of rows of different color crystals.
Right,
that look like they would fit into the slots in this thing. And he goes,
"Thank you.
You're going to want these." And he closes it.
Thank you, Arnold.
He hands that to Aelar. He's like,
"Thank you, Mr. Z.
It's better if my hands aren't busy if this gets a little hairy."
Yeah, Aelar stuffs them. I start stuffing them in various pockets.
Okay.
Don't we have the bags of holding? Can't we just?
Theoretically, yeah.
Oh yeah. I
For
just
safety?
wasn't sure if they were, anti-magicked in this room as well.
This room is anti-magicked, so you can't spellcast in here. I don't think that stops you from putting it in the bag of holding. I think it would stop you from...
It would just make it a bag.
It would make it a bag. You can stuff it in there.
Yeah.
It just means you can't retrieve it from another one. It disables all your bullshit properties of your bags of holding. So it's certainly possible to cram it in a bag and carry it.
Okay. It goes into the bag, and Aelar picks a
ouch,
a smallish crate at random, figuring something I can carry.
I'll do the same thing.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I put a few things in here that are attainable. I'm gonna have I just changed my mind on how I want to run it. So Rowan's got the MacGuffin. Arnold is not grabbing anything. The four of you roll a D100, and there's a threshold above which, if if you break a certain threshold, I'm gonna have you roll on the table of like wild shit that I put in here. If you roll below that threshold, I think what we'll say is like you can kind of take dealer's choice of an uncommon magical item that you just want to say that you find.
Okay. I rolled a 92.
Of course you did. Okay.
It's in D&D Beyond. It is visible. I clicked a button and things happened.
I believe
87.
87?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I got the nice number.
I'm gonna roll my actual D100.
Holy shit! What'd you get?
Oh my god! It will just take you 20 minutes to read it.
Oh, I got it. I've got nice. I got it.
I rolled 100.
You rolled 100?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Okay, you hold it up like we can fucking read it.
I mean, I rolled it legitimately. I can re-roll if you want.
All right, Brittany, what did you get?
Wait, do I get to roll?
No, Brittany's got the chronomancy device.
I don't get to do fun things. I get to do the important things.
Well, we got in the 400s with the.
I rolled it a few times just to make sure it wasn't like broken. No, I rolled a legitimate 100. So.
Okay, so.
Brom finds God.
Now,
so we rolled a combined over 300.
Prepare your bones, because it's probably about to get wild. Because all four of you beat the threshold on which I'm gonna let you roll on the batshit insane.
We'll get something fun. This is bullshit.
If a flump shows up,
trauma. I get trauma.
You get trauma.
What, you
get
like
trauma?
stories,
You like
right?
Alrighty. Okay. So here's... Let's get my... Alright. Give me a second. Yeah. Trying to pull these up so that I can send them to you if and when you roll. Okay. So. Here's what we got. Russell.
Yes.
Let's do it this way. Russell, Curtis, Jason, Adam. All right. So I have a list of 10 things. All of which are a little bit mad. I'm gonna have you guys each roll a d10. Repeating rolls, like if like Russell rolls a 1 and then Jason rolls a 1, like repeating, no repeats, so we get a unique item. We'll have everybody roll. I'll write down what you roll, and then one by one I will tell you what you pick up as we go through. So Russell, go ahead and roll that d10.
I'm sorry, Brittany.
Get a D10.
No, I legit got the thing that I think Rowan needs to deal with this shit that's going down. So I'm okay.
Just so that Brittany doesn't have to feel too left out. In fairness, the thing that Rowan got is a pretty batshit insane magical item in and of itself.
I almost died over this thing in my story. It's all good.
3.
A 3. Alrighty, Curtis.
Hold on, what am I supposed to be rolling
roll
again?
Roll a d10. If you get a 3, reroll.
Okay, roll a d10. Okay. Get a 3, reroll.
If you get a 3, reroll, because Russell already got the item on 3.
Alright, 9.
9.
Got the Walter Rock.
Okay.
Oh god.
The bad noise. Or is it?
The VM is laughing.
I'm excited.
You should be. Go ahead, Jason.
All right, I'm gonna use this Walter Rock.
All right, the
that
Walter
I have,
Rock.
And it can't be a 9 or a 3.
Can't be 9 or 3.
How about an 8?
An 8 can be an 8.
That was a 9. 6.
6. Yep, that's a D10.
Okay. I'm gonna do these in a particular order. You guys just begin tossing random crates and pulling whatever's in them out as you run through.
Walter 100% tries to use magic first and doesn't work.
And can't, yeah.
And it's like old school.
Yeah,
so you just plunge your hands into unmarked crates of magical items. Cursed nonsense be damned.
It's
but
that Tuesday.
We're in a room full of magical items, and I don't know what any of them do!
Aelar, you pull out... handily, though, they are cataloged and marked with, labels inscribing, what the Ignians, historians and high arcanists have, determined some of these relics do.
Oh.
Essentially, this is the room of, all of the shit that the Ignians relic hunters have found and brought here, and is, considered too valuable or too dangerous to, for them to do anything but, hide it away for themselves. So this is
We're robbing their ziggurat?
You're robbing their ziggurat, yes. Sort of. The ziggurat specifically is, cursed evil shit, for the most part. There's maybe some cursed evil shit in here. The Ignians have a real interesting definition of what's what. Okay. Aelar, you retrieve a long staff. The item that you pull out is labeled as a Staff of Life. There is a note on it that says they believe that there are 28 charges remaining in this Staff of Life. Essentially, the description on it says, essentially this thing allows you, using certain numbers of charges, to craft various levels of healing magic. There is a note that is marked by an Ignian Arcanist at the bottom, saying that effect is considered hypothetical, as they were not able to successfully test it. But they believe that this item has the ability to bring somebody back from the dead, theoretically.
Oh, they're gonna love me at Terra Libra.
Jason.
I'm muted. Yep.
You retrieve a small, big, what's the big marble called in the set of marbles?
Shooter?
I was going to say slammer, but I think it's the shooter.
That's Pogs. A shooter-style, shooter-sized pearl. You have a Pearl of Power.
There you go.
Okay.
Brahm. You retrieve a gilded book out of the out of a crate. The book has been labeled the Book of Exalted Deeds. The description of what it does is more than you're going to be able to read while fleeing for your life. the Cliff Notes version seems to indicate that like this book can somehow be used to like essentially permanently improve you somehow.
Oh hell yeah!
And this absolute goon. Let's play a game.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you guys exactly one guess as to what the fuck Osrius pulls from this.
I know.
Deck of many things.
This bitch, Osrius, you pull out. You find a pedestal that has like fucking caution tape around it and a bunch of like skull and crossbones, like don't touch, no, bad, dangerous, and you're like, that looks interesting. You pick up a small leather pouch and you flip it open and you see that inside there is a deck of what appears to be tarot cards. And there is a tag on that that item that says deck of many things. And as you guys are like leaving, as soon as Osrius picks that item like off of its like pedestal, like alarm klaxons and like red strobe lights begin to go. The crystalline structure in the elevator goes like BRRR! And turns red. And you guys like immediately get the sense like you have been locked in this chamber. And
what did you grab?
I don't know. It just seems like a deck of cards, I guess. And you kind of just like, do I have like the bag with me here? The like one of the bag like.
Right now it's just a bag,
just a bag
but
right
you can.
now,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I just kind of nonchalantly throw it in there, being like, "Yeah, I just found like a deck of cards. I guess it's really important or something." So I just like throw it in the bag.
Claude is like looking at all this. Claude is like, he's like, whatever that is, there are certain items in here that are considered apocalyptically dangerous. And the result in this, we have been locked inside.
We can't use magic to get out. This place isn't.
Well, at least now
shielded.
they know where we are.
Which means we're gonna have to fight our way out.
That just means we can't use the elevator.
Yeah, there's stairs.
Are there stairs?
There are
Do we
stairs.
have access to the stairs?
But you don't
Can
have
we use
access to the stairs because you are locked in this chamber.
Oh. How do we get out of a locked chamber with no magic?
You said that the structure of the elevator is crystalline?
There's like the structure is like stone and metal, but there's like a crystalline arcane power vein that runs through it. Whatever the source of arcano energy that runs this thing.
Okay. Give me a hand. We're gonna crack. We're gonna get these doors open. There's a shaft. We'll go up that way.
Got it.
I'm gonna toss him Plan C.
We need a music change.
Arthur, Andrew,
Arnold.
Arnold.
Close
Sorry,
enough.
terrible
You're
with
fine.
names.
Hey, Arnold.
Hey, Arnold. So I just watched you horrifyingly crush metal with your bare hands. Can you horrifyingly crush this door out of our way? Is that a thing you can do?
He says, I could probably do a number on it, but we need to get out of the anti-magic room before I can really pop off.
How do we get out of?
That's what we're working on.
He's like, no, I think
Walter."
Aelar's idea is pretty good. Like, bust through the
Oh,
elevator
alright.
and climb up the shaft.
All right. Yep.
Watch the door.
And don't say climb up the shaft.
Well, look.
Firmly grasp it.
While they're doing that, you want to cause a little chaos in this room, just to mess with them.
Yeah, what do you got in mind?
You got strong hands and there's delicate stuff. So let's start breaking shit.
Oh, the old domino maneuver, sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll use my shovel as a lever, and you just start pushing.
He's like, cool. Are you at all concerned that some of the things we knock off these shelves might explode or release a vapor or like a haunted gas cloud that'll kill everybody or anything? You just want to go for it.
No.
Do I look like I plan that far ahead?
Walter, no.
No, you don't. That's why I asked.
Does he look like a man who's not already haunted by a gas cloud?
I go help Oz and Aelar try to break the elevator.
Rowan's like, I'm not gonna die because this person made a stupid decision again.
Okay, so for those of you trying to break your way into the elevator shaft, go ahead and make strength athletics checks.
Strength athletics checks.
If Walter is going to proceed with his plan to tip, Arnold will be like, yeah, okay, whatever, and we'll help you. We'll help you if you would like.
I'm just gonna tip stuff that doesn't look like it's got glass in it.
17 athletics to break the elevator.
Okay.
Actually, wait. Walter has it. Walter's like about to tip
Natural
something.
20.
That's a 23.
Making it a. It was athletics or what?
Just
Strength.
athletics.
So that's a.
I have a +8 to athletics. I ain't feeling shit in athletics.
Yeah, Aelar's not strong, but
Natural 20, making it a 24.
Okay.
So 24, a 17.
24, a 23, a 17, and what was Alar's?
Dex.
A 6.
He's
okay.
not strong.
He's pointing.
It's okay.
Yeah, so
He's
Aelar is like
supervising.
pulling it like the doors to the elevator, and like just like a hand goes on your shoulder, and Osrius is like, he just moves you out of the way.
Actually, I feel like it's like opening up the elevator and then like tossing Aelar in there, be like, okay, rip open, little man, get in there.
Well, so because it does take all three of you, right? So like Brahm, nothing if not a man who knows how to use a crowbar, like comes up and he's like, and like wedges it into the the slat between the two doors, which then prompts like Osrius, you're basically able to like you get on one side of the you get on the crowbar and start to like pull on the crowbar, and as the doors like crack apart, that allows Rowan to like dig her fingers into the crevice and pull the other way, and you like wrench the elevator doors about like you get like a foot apart, and then essentially like they don't really open any further, but you guys just end up like like concaving them like away from each other, creating an opening like big enough for you guys to get into. You see that like the inside of the elevator car is in there, which everything also in there is like red and inert.
Is there a trapdoor up top?
You know there's always a trapdoor on the top of an elevator
Okay.
that you can climb out.
I'm gonna pick Aelar up.
Yeah, he's at this point. I'm gonna risk the trap. He just shoves the trapdoor open.
Walter, what was your strength?
Walter decided that he is not strong enough without magic, and instead has pivoted plans. I am stealing every single label I can get my hands on, so I'm unlabeling everything that they have. So instead of tipping everything over, I'm just stealing all the labels while they're getting the door open. So as many as I can possibly grab.
So you're just like doing this really fast. You see Arnold is like. He's like got his arms behind his back. He's like walking up and down aisles, like kind of looking. He occasionally like, and he'll like take something down and he like walks with it. And he's got like a little armful of like stuff that he's gathered up. So he just like casually goes about this as you guys do this. So we like pivot back. Claude, who is like looking at the door access, the stair access door, and he's like listening. He's like, they are coming.
Aelar, levers himself through the trap door, looks up. What do I see?
You see. God, I gotta look up elevator mechanics, elevator schematics. Oh no! All I get when I type elevator trapdoor is elevator trapdoor prank, where they drop people out of the floor of an elevator. I think there is. It wouldn't be much of an emergency elevator shaft if the mechanism wasn't accessible from the inside, right? Like that seems to be.
Yeah.
So there's probably like a big lever arm that pulls and like unclips the locks that hold the door closed.
All right. quick look at. Do I think I could disable it with my tools, or will it require percussive maintenance?
Everything in here seems to be pretty well maintained, so you think probably like you should be able to like get it opened without requiring somebody to come in and like rip it off the hinge.
All right. Then Aelar quickly starts working on it.
Alrighty. Make a dexterity check. Sleight of hand.
That's a 19 on the die, which means that is a 30.
So you basically you just jump up, grab onto it, hang from it, and you sort of do like a kip up where you sort of flip your body, plant your legs on the wall of the elevator, and are essentially hanging from the ceiling on this latch, and then you do you just sort of do a and you contract and you wrench this this lever, and you feel the mechanism give, and you drop to the ground. It pops open kind of that much, but enough that somebody should be able to punch it open from the inside, and you guys can start trying to climb out. Claude says, I think they are on the floor above. And
all right, let's go, everybody up.
What are you doing, Walter? You're still labeling, right? Are you starting to move towards the elevator?
As soon as I see that they've succeeded, I will stop mislabeling things, take the entire pile of labels and dump them in the elevator, and then use that as a step to get up into the.
Okay, you do that. Arnold comes back with the stuff that he's been gathering up, and he has a bunch of odd doodads and some vials, and he's like, as you guys are starting to climb into the elevator, he's rigging a bunch of shit together. What is the order in which you are trying to climb into the elevator shaft?
I'm gonna stay down and help. Well, I'm there to mostly help boost Aelar, Walter, and Arnold in. But then once they're in, I'm going up.
Okay.
What you got there, Arnold?
This is just covering our tracks.
Aelar's gonna start climbing, figuring, take point.
Okay, so anybody that's getting boosted can just get up there without a check required. So if Rowan is boosting, Oz doesn't need it. Oz is basically able to go.
I'm just gonna go. Yeah.
your head is basically at the top of the elevator to begin with, so it's not much of a climb. You just get out. Brom, Walter, and Aelar are helped by Rowan. Rowan, you need to make a strength check. Arnold is go on. I'll just finish this up. You help Claude up as well. He you push him up. He clambers in.
16.
Strength check.
Yeah.
17.
Okay, so you clamber in. Claude finishes. He essentially just taped a bunch of bottles of stuff and a mechanical looking thing together, and then he unstoppers a vial and pours a liquid behind him from the access door to the stairwell to the elevator, and then he takes the bottle and he goes, yep, smashes it, and then he looks up and he just goes, whoop, and he cleanly just jumps through the opening and lands on the top of the elevator.
Did we just rescue Tom Bombadil or something? What on earth
yeah, we
happened?
totally fucking did. I love him.
He goes, okay. He says, well, we're out of the anti-magic field, but this is probably a little too enclosed a space. We should maybe get to to the entrance.
How do we need anything else in this building?
We don't need anything else. Next floor up is Arcane Tomes. It's probably warded too.
Do you just want to leave right now?
Oh, you've got a way out?
Yeah, we've got teleport spells.
Oh shit! Why didn't you say so?
Oh shit.
He says.
We're
He says.
too good.
He says. Well, I'm all for that. But, and this is just an option. You can take it if you want to, or you can leave it. If you want to break the whole building on our way out, I can see to that. And then we can use your teleport spell, or we can just go now. Whatever you want.
No. I vote breaking the building. That sounds cool as hell.
Aelar, was looking at the doorway with the arcane tomes. He glances down. Wait, what now? Break the whole damn what?
How long do you need, buddy?
He's like, we just need to get out of the elevator shaft. Can we get to the
Tomes level
floor?
it is.
Main floor?
What level do you need?
And he says, I think I only saw it once when they brought me in here originally, but that main level, that entrance, would be fine.
Got it.
Okay. I have 3 floors up from this. And Aelar starts climbing.
Climbing.
Okay.
Do I have anything I can...
Shovel flies.
Yes! Walter's like, what can I do?
Walter, start flying!
Start coming up. Actually, I think Oz can fly too.
Oz can also fly.
I can't.
You have boots. You have
Hold on, let me see how many charges I have.
Also, probably just climb this shit with your.
I can also make the rest of us fly if need be.
I'm fine to climb.
Yeah, Aelar's he's already clambering.
I will fly myself then.
And
What's Arnold doing?
If somebody is willing to carry him, he's like, yeah, I'll go for a ride.
how much does he weigh? I'm
I'm
confused by his body right now.
He's a halfling.
He's a halfling that just crushed steel, sir.
That doesn't mean he's heavy.
He's able to like hang onto the broom. Actually, like if you start ascending, he just like grabs the broom and like kind of dangles from it and will like ascend below you.
Yeah.
He's sort of like he's using you
Like
as a
Mary
Mary
Poppins.
Poppins umbrella.
That's fine.
As you guys begin to ascend, Claude, who's doing something with Claude? He's here as well.
Can I help him?
Jen, yeah.
Just help him fly.
Baby Bjorn him.
Yeah.
Baby Bjorn him.
He can make athletics check. So anybody climbing, Claude and Rowan, that is, can make an athletics check.
Mine is 16. Aelar's just clambering up as quickly as he can.
Okay. Claude gets a 16. So he's alright. He's doing okay. He's kind of surprisingly nimble for a skinny guy. You begin to climb. You hear the door to the stair access is like overridden, and you hear like boots pour into that chamber. You hear like a little bit of confused shouting, and then a moment later you see like several heads like appear and are like peering up at you through the elevator shaft. A crossbow bolt like flies up the elevator shaft. Let's see.
They're shooting at us from below?
Yeah. I don't think a 9 hits anybody's AC.
Nope.
So it just flies past you. You hear it like ping, 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 and then like kind of fall like down the side of the shaft. And Al goes, "Oh, that's my cue." And he goes, and he shoots a firebolt out of his finger, straight down the shaft. It hits that like trail of liquid at the feet of the Ignians, and you guys hear, boom, and like a fireball comes like rolling up the elevator shaft after you. And kind of like peters out. You just get like a gust of hot air comes past you. And he goes, "Well, that ought to slow him down for a minute."
Smells like victory. Let's go.
It's not us if there isn't an explosion or two.
He hangs on as you ascend up. You get to the proper level. You are now facing the closed door on the inside of the the main atrium.
And we are in a terrible position at the moment, correct? As we are in a place where we can use magic, but the area outside is warded, and the people who would try to leverage them?
There's no anti-magic on the area, like on that main foyer. There's probably a lot of people out there.
I don't have any slots left for that. That's boring. Oh wait. If DM allows it, I would like to utilize the Pearl of Power to get a pact slot back. As written, it doesn't give a 5th level slot back. It's up to you. Because I was gonna use the spinning doom drill to blow a hole in the door.
I think that sufficiently meets the requirements for the ultimate question of is it gonna be rad? I think that's rad enough that I will allow that.
It's like they hear the ding is like Aelar or Walter like hovers up into like the other side of the thing, and they're like all getting ready to the other side. Just like a swirl of violence happens.
I think what happens is we cut to the outside of the elevator shaft, where like a bunch of Ignians are like storming around like outside this elevator shaft, and it's like quiet, and then you just hear like and then like a pinprick appears in the metal door, and then like a half a second later it just like blows open like a 3-foot diameter hole in the door, and like a drill of like dust and debris that were captured from like the updraft that you like turned into a drill just blows through the door, and a bunch of guys like oh. And you guys are able to basically like pile out into the atrium, and what you see is that you are in that original main atrium. There are easily like 100 dudes in this chamber, including one of them who is like further back and seems to be like issuing orders. And like everybody stops when you guys like blow out into the atrium, and the fanciest looking guy in the room basically, he like turns to you and he says, "Lay down your weapons and surrender on the authority of the High Council of the Ignian Empire." And Claude, like, so maybe helpfully, maybe not super helpfully, goes like, "That is the High Council, Errant." And
the guy whose Kiwi stole?
Is it? Yes, it is the High Council of the Empire, second most powerful man after the Emperor. And at this point, Arnold, he like strolls out around you guys. When he does, you see that the High Council, like, his eyes like widen in like abject terror. And Arnold turns around and he looks Aelar specifically at you, and he says, "This is the part that I said was gonna get weird. I promise I'll explain this. I'll meet you back at the bookkeeper's home. Use your teleport and go on, get out of here." And he turns around and he begins walking forward. Most of the soldiers in the room, you see, don't seem to like understand what the deal is with like this little halfling like starting to walk towards them. The High Council like turns and begins fleeing for the doors. And what you see is that Arnold begins to change. He begins to grow. His like body elongates. His arms like reconfigure into forelimbs. His legs like turn and recurve. A tail like emerges. His neck elongates. His head stretches. He begins to grow and grow. A pair of massive wings erupt from his back, and you watch as humble Arnold, the Tinker, transforms into a fully 200-foot long silver dragon.
Aelar's parting shot, he's going to cast web on the doors to try and catch the... Walter, get us out!
I have to use your... Walter, like, digs into the bag for your teleport scroll because...
No, Aelar's holding out the teleport scroll,
okay,
the other hand
he's
is
gonna grab that because he's been trying to trigger the teleport from his own thing while this thing was transforming. And it's like, I'm out of charges for that. It's like, scroll, go!
You unfurl this scroll, begin to cast teleport. Claude is like... and like moves over with you guys.
Yeah, no, once his hand is free of the scroll, keeps pointing towards Claude and like, go that way.
He goes that way. So Arnold takes up the majority of the space in here. You cast web. The high console like bangs into it and turns back, and you hear this like and he like swivels this like massive head back in your direction, Aelar, and he just goes like, and as you guys like teleport, like begin to like teleport out as Walter completes the spell, you see him like swing his head back and go, and like a column of fire vaporizes every soldier like in a line, sweeping across the chamber. You see the front of the building like blows out with the force of this fire, and then you disappear, and you reappear standing in Ladria's Keep.
I imagine Claude starts
on the other side of the continent. No, he handles it pretty well. You guys land in Ladria's Keep, back in Terra Libra, on the other side of the continent.
Well,
okay, he did not do that when I met him.
Did you
But
meet
that
him?
Small him. But in retrospect, he's the guy that taught me Draconic, so that explains it.
You know what? I'm not gonna be mad about that.
That makes a lot of sense, man.
That makes so much more sense than it should.
Yeah.
Aelar's gonna look around the chamber. I assume there's probably a bookkeeper staffer there.
There's somebody around, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Could you let Boris and the other head honchos know that the fools are back? Mission accomplished, and holy shit, do we have a story to tell.
They look at all of you, they look at like this guy that you've picked up who's like,
oh, this is Claude. He's cool.
Claude's cool.
Bonjour!
He helped us.
Yeah, he's cool. I'll vouch for him.
Them. It's fine.
Hey, Claude, do you like to play cards?
Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a gnome that's screaming.
He goes, I'm not sure what that is, but it set off all the alarms when you touched it, so it's probably bad. I'm going to leave it alone, I think.
Yeah, probably for now. That's a good idea.
And so this Ordinum Libre staffer, like, yeah, and runs off to go and inform them that the Fool's Errant have returned, bearing the chronomancy device and perhaps the means to uncover the Brotherhood of Artanis' plots once and for all. And that will be the end of our session tonight.
Hell yeah.
Oh boy.
I just want to say this is the second time that I've gotten my hands on the deck of many things in my career of playing D&D, and it feels great every time.
Feels great.
You know,
Feels
now that I
great.
think about it, I don't think I've ever been able. You guys have had the deck outside of my no. Yeah, no, I don't think you guys have ever.
It was
had
gone before you joined the other.
Yeah,
game.
so
Yeah, I
I've
think they
never
had it, they
experienced
lost
the deck
it.
of many things.
And I think when they got it back, because you guys did get it back at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're pretty, to be honest, we're pretty responsible with it. We just don't, like, go pulling cards willingly.
I know everybody gets gets caught up in like, oh, the deck of many things. Like, I have never had a bad time including it in one of my games.
No, it's all good, but it's like we use it, I think, at opportune times.
Well, yeah,
like,
and I have a little bit of a rule with it that I always say, where I always say I will as the DM, I will like Deus Ex Machina, I will step in and I will save your campaign, but I will not save your character. That's sort of like the caveat of the deck of many things. It's like I won't let you accidentally end the campaign for everybody, but if it kills you, I will not save you.
And you've always come out with it being like at the very first thing you've always said, choose your words very carefully.
Yeah, if you pull a wish
and
spell.
you say it, you said it again. You're like, choose your words. Very
you
carefully.
were the one that pulled the actual wish card.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. This
immediately lost a level, immediately gained a level too.
Yeah, we can save that for our post stream talk show. But yeah, that's another one. Is that I always felt that, like, being an absolute like stickler to like specifically try and be a dick about people using the wish spell is stupid.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't do that either, unless
But this is fun.
Unless somebody is trying to be a shithead with their wish spell.
A general rule of thumb for D&D: don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dickhead. This is fun. Interesting now.
Alrighty, well there you go. So we are we're getting into the home stretch here as it should all start coming together. But,
People are gonna die.
It's about to get
fun.
About to get crazy. Yeah, they're about to die of how much fun they're having watching Delve Requisite right here on Proficiency Bonus every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. Do not forget, birthday week is coming up. It is, I guess it's still June, huh? I was going to say later this month, but it is coming up in July. We have a lot of great stuff planned for that. Michael and I were talking yesterday about some ideas he's having for potentially some ways to raffle off some like privately DM'd games.
Hell yeah!
That he and I might do. That should be very cool. We're obviously going to run a Delve Requisite stream. We got a bunch of other stuff. My wife has agreed to DM a session for birthday week.
That will be fun.
So it should be,
that'll be crazy.
It should be a good time. So be sure to tune in for Probo Birthday Week coming up in July. I want to say
I think it's the last week.
The last week of
Maybe.
July. I can't get my calendar to open because I don't know how dates work.
I'm wearing the 5th anniversary shirt right now.
Oh, are you?
And it's already the 6th anniversary.
It's true. I wore my 5th anniversary shirt yesterday.
As did I.
I want to say 24th to the 28th or 21st to the 28th.
21st to the 28th.
Yeah.
So with a 360-day year, it would be right now. Yeah. But it's not, because we don't have 360 days in a year. We have 364 and a half.
Thanks, Gregorian calendar. Let's call it end to the session.
Yep.
Let's say goodnight to all of our dear friends at home. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us, DM Camacho in chat. We missed Dogs for Life today, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll see them again soon. And